Hi everyone, today on Centurionsmoney.com we have a new video for you, how to invest money. If you have already completed the first and most important step, of recognizing that you need investments to generate money without having a job, this is for you. With this you will achieve financial freedom and fulfill your dreams. So, let's start. The questions that you need to answer to invest correctly. First, how to recognize a good investment. The most important thing to make money is to have the knowledge enough to understand how the world and the business work. Here are some important fields: accounting, being able to read numbers. This generates knowledge about the movements that are made every day, that is to say, each hammer blow that you do to your empire to forge it. You will need precision and logic to identify weaknesses and strengths of a business. Investment, earn money. You need creativity and finding things where nobody sees, where the market is headed, and to make solutions for everyday problems. Understanding, finding supply and demand. It is based on the combination of both, that is, matching the numbers with the business. For example, some companies have good sales, but that is in a market that might disappear. Like printers or cameras. Law, know the rules of the game. If you know the rules well, no matter who is threatening you, whether you're government or banker, you can beat it on your own, easily. If you want to know more about how the government takes between 40% and 50% of monthly income, I recommend this information. Apart from their knowledge, it is specifically good to invest in businesses that operate with third-party administration, corporate stocks, bonds, mutual funds, royalties and patents, real estate, promissory notes, and that which constantly produces money, crypto funds in the market. Investment without money. It is possible and genius, for example, to hire for bankrupt people or mortgaged properties that can be bought at a very low price, ask for a loan and fix it if necessary to get a higher return, then find a buyer and lower it in 10 or 20% with the condition that the buyer pays for the legal procedures. There are plenty of examples like these in the stock and crypto markets. Second one, how to be a professional investor. Professional investors are not in charge of investing in mutual funds, where despite being safe, in most cases they are so safe that almost no investments can be found anymore. To become a cash printer you must know how to, first, find an opportunity where nobody sees, like to buy abandoned houses and demolish them for their land. Second, get capital. This means ways to get money without the bank. And to organize smart people who make great decisions while you enjoy life. Third, learn without money. It is a very common problem, but the truth is that it has a very simple solution. For example, many companies have perfect training programs for their employees. In this way you can meet your goal of learning a new skill at the same time that you get paid and you have real experience, not in a classroom, but in the market where you are going to dedicate yourself to and without wasting time in useless classes. For example, do you want to learn leadership? Go to the army. Do you want to learn marketing? Go to an advertising agency. Do you want to learn to account? Work for an accounting assistant who works in your market. Do you want to know about the law? So you could help at a buffet or even in court. The point here is that the best way to find knowledge is to live it, and remember that the important thing is not the payment or the wage, it is that you are going to learn and you will be paid for it without going to an expensive and long-term university. What to learn is one of the best questions that can be generated, and these are the three main branches. Number 1, personnel administration. The art to communicate assertively to generate the desired impact. This field includes the negotiation of conflicts and the sale-purchase of goods and services. Number 2, team management. This refers to leadership, the contract of smarter people, and the generation of effective cooperation in the team to be able to get the best out of it in the shortest time. Number 3, cash management. It consists of managing income effectively to be able to make the right investments at the right time, in addition to reducing expenses and generating more opportunities. Third one, what you are facing when you invest. This is a list of the main reasons that people are afraid of leaving their safe job and that you must overcome. 1. Fear. As we mentioned before, the problem is not fear or emotions, because these are the things that make us humans. However, the problem is in managing them. To do this, remember that winning means not being afraid to lose, and most people are so afraid of losing that they lose. This means that many times you could have had a perfect opportunity, but you were afraid of losing, and instead of taking risks, you preferred to play it safe. But we are all tired of playing it safe and that the little you earn is for the government. And never forget that sometimes you win and other times you learn. 2. Cynicism. It is the weakness in which a person only seeks the worst possible result, but we Centurions are better than that, and we know that seeking weaknesses is even a quality when choosing the right investment. However, we must control this voice who speaks to us and mute it to allow the business to speak and listen to its strengths. 3. Laziness. Here we will not only talk about the delaying of important things because we know that laziness is not alone and it is often accompanied by fear of failure and lack of ambition. That is, in the head of a broke person, it's 100 times easier to watch Netflix than to face their situation, and each time they look for excuses until they become the laziest. Remember to have ambition. 4. Bad habits. Here is a formula to make your mind work like a money machine. Pay yourself first and then think about others. That is, invest your money in assets from the first moment you have. Later your mind will find a way to get rid of annoying guys like bankers and public workers. 5. Arrogance. It was believed that fear is the worst of all, but this is the most difficult obstacle to overcome for many since it includes fear, ego, and ignorance. In other words, apart from having a person who does not take action out of fear of public failure, they also think that someone can't overcome them, so they normally react with contempt or anger towards those who do better, causing the effect of ignorance, because they think they already know everything, and that is the biggest lie of the 21st century, where new information originates every second. 4th. How to start. List of 10 steps to achieve your dreams. 1. Objective. Establish a clear objective, that being 1,000 or 10,000 times greater than what you want. In this way you will force yourself to work harder and smarter than what you would have done with something easy, but it is also important to divide this objective into small steps and make them achievable, so you have a plan. Also, we recommend a larger motive than multiple bills. For example, I do this because I love my family, and they deserve more, or I want to travel around the world in my 30s without worrying about money. 2. Choosing. Cash flow management is very important at this point, and it is remembering how you spend your money, perhaps as a poor person, a middle class, or a successful millionaire with a lot of assets. I recommend this information about how millionaires spend their money. 3. Friends and relationships. It's very important to relate to people you admire. They don't need to be rich. What is important is their mentality, that they usually talk about business, and they have ideas of how different markets work to have a panoramic view of the world. 4. Find your method. Once you have mastered and internalized the way you're going to make money and put it into practice, it is time to learn a new one, since the only way to conserve and generate money is understanding that the market constant is the change, and if you don't believe me, look at Blockbuster or Nokia. 5. Self-discipline. Never forget that no one else will generate good assets apart from you. So keep expenses low and buy luxuries after assets, because they will continue to pay you after buying what you want, and don't get excited with your credit card. 6. Pay well. Think in the many times the average person would prefer to dedicate 20% or 50% on luxuries and comforts, but only 7% for their stockbroker or real estate manager. So they'll want to spend as little time as possible with you and will not hear the latest news from someone who is 24/7 on the field. It is also a good idea to ask your advisor about your investments and thus obtain the best ones. For example, asking a stockbroker how many actions they personally own, etc. 7. Charity. Remember that in case you are in trouble, it's a good idea to give what they need, and so people will be more inclined to return information or even money, but we do not recommend planning it. Just do it if you think that it's the right thing to do, such as sharing information about the boom and receiving it, or donating money for their services. There are many other forms of donations, and if you want to find them, just think about the daily needs that you would like to solve. 8. Educate your heirs. Many times large companies simply go to waste because they have no manager in their circle who would be in charge in case you are no longer able to work or you want to take a break. Therefore, they'll not achieve true freedom and will be obliged to stay in their spot. 9. Heroes. It is a good idea to have one or several heroes or people you look up to. For example, imagine that your greatest hero or idol is Warren Buffett, then study their methods of buying stocks and think as if you were them, and in the same way as Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos. 10. Security. This is a very common thing in novice investors, in which they try to amass a large amount of money to put them into a business. This is a very bad strategy because you are losing money while still collecting that large sum. It is also too risky because if you make a mistake, you can lose everything. However, if you invest in 10 different businesses, you will have to make 10 mistakes to lose everything.